know, I believe that anyone can make a positive difference in the world, great and small. I see it every day. And you don't have to be a celebrity or billionaire to do it. All you really need is the desire to use your unique gifts, talents, and passions, and then to simply begin. Hi, I'm Linda Mackey, and welcome to The Eloquent Entrepreneur, a place where I have conversations with everyday changemakers just like you. Join us and hear inspiring stories, hard-won wisdom, and discover practical tools to help you accelerate your impact. So whatever you're doing right now, listen in and prepare to be inspired.
I'm here with my longtime friend and client, Colleen Wynia. This is Linda of Linda Mackey Creative and the Eloquent Entrepreneur, conversations with everyday change makers. And like I said, I've known Colleen for a long time. We met in 2013 through a local networking, women's networking group, right?
Yes.
Called SWAN. It was called Successful Women Always Network. I think that's what it was called. So long ago now. And we met almost to the day on June 20th, you said.
That's right.
2013. So, and we haven't seen each other for a while because I moved to Victoria and you live in North Vancouver. And anyway, when we met, we hit it off right away. Colleen is many things, but when I met you, I basically worked with you for massage. And you gave me the most amazing massage I've ever had in my life. I probably haven't had one as good since then. And it was also, sorry? Go ahead.
To come across the water, I'll have to come across the water soon.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, I mean, before I formally introduce you, I just wanted to say that because it was kind of a funny year for me. I lost my dad. And he died in August of 2013. And you are also a spiritual, intuitive, and holistic health educator. So I'm not sure if that latter part came later, but anyway, I came to you for a spiritual, intuitive session, and that was coupled with a massage, I think. And that was really, really amazing because I did feel my dad come through. And I know you did too. And so that was amazing. But you're going to talk about that more. But I want to introduce you. Colleen Wynia is a Reset Your Vibe vision coach, spiritual, intuitive, and holistic health educator. She helps women and guides them and heart-centered men, not just women, in business through navigating life after loss, weathering life's storms, and ever-changing landscape. She loves guiding the way to transforming pain and self-doubt into clarity, confidence, and creativity to energize intuition and ignite freedom. So welcome, Colleen. That was a big mouthful, but you are so talented and so intuitive and so, you just have one of the biggest hearts that I know of anybody. And I just love the work you do. And I wish we lived closer because I would definitely come to you for all of the above. But I know that, you've really pivoted your business. And anyway, so I'm going to stop talking and I'll let you, share a little bit more about yourself and, what are you doing right now? Okay. What are you up to?
Thank you very much, my sweetheart, Linda. Before we, highlight me, thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to just take a moment to acknowledge you, sweetheart, because I felt the same way from the moment I first met you. You have a heart of gold. We hear that a lot, but it's one thing to hear it. It's one thing to see it demonstrated, and it's another thing to feel it. And that's what I wanted to tap into today because we feel it's that saying how when someone you're what's the saying? I can't find I'm tongue twister today. Oh. You'll see I'm a little silly, but it's like that experience where how did that person make you feel when you left them or when you had that moment with them? That's what I feel with you. I feel that you're one of me. We're like soul sisters in our hearts. So kudos to you. Thank you so much for coming into my world. You make me a better
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad we reconnected too, because it's been a while.
It has
So,
been.
yeah.
Yes.
So tell us all about, let's hear a bit more about you personally and professionally and what you're doing and how's business and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's a mouthful. Absolutely. Thank you. Well, I am, first and foremost, I'm from North Vancouver, British Columbia, born and raised, and I'm living here now in the city, the north side of the city near the mountains. And there's a reason for that, because I'm huge into exercise. It's been a big part of my life. It wasn't in my family's, but it became a big part of my world to discharge the overwhelm of emotion, to prevent illness over time and to really just enjoy myself. So I live near the mountains and I get to hike. And I love anything I can do to change how I feel. And I think, Linda, we've talked about this before, but in terms of feeling, a little bit about me, outdoor lover, hugely into exercise, hugely into prevention as much as I can. I've lost a whole heck of a lot of loved ones over the last 26 years. It was my dad's.
Mm-hmm.
Yours. Yeah, it was my dad's anniversary of his passing in June here, just a few days back. And he's my everything. It propelled me to get into the work that I do now, all because of a loss, because of a hardship. And I didn't go looking for it. It was like that universal spirit came to me and showed me something I'd never experienced before, connecting with loved ones on the other side. And that curiosity and thought I was going crazy dove me into like a new territory. So personally, I'm in Deep Cove, British Columbia. I'm back here, Linda, where we first met. I'm living out in this beautiful complex. I'm looking at the mountain right now. And I'm back and forth between the personal thing, but I have led a life, a little background, sort of like depression, hard times, not feeling good enough, kind of growing up as that young girl who saw a lot of darkness, a lot of pain. And she believed that she needed to do, the way the world tells you what to do. Go to school, get the certificate and show up. And I was the eldest child. So it was about being, independent and showing the world that you can handle anything. And that feeling. Yeah. So, having gone into the workforce in the corporate world, so I come from a little bit professional here. So background came from the corporate world. I've worked ever since I was a young woman. And one of the things that you asked me was what kind of stands out. It was like my magical fingers. I'd always been touching people. Even when I had like a corporate job, people were coming up to me to say, oh, can I talk to you about my boyfriend or my, anything touchy-feely, anything they've got a sore pain in their body. And while I was at this corporate job for 11 and a half years in the corporate world and in sales, then that was the time when my cousin and my dad both were diagnosed with cancer, very close together. And it was they were the first two loves of my life that I walked the journey with them. I saw, and they took the traditional road of listening to only medical advice and taking medications and, chemo and radiation and all the things that, we were kind of born and raised with. And they both passed over. And these guys propelled me into this journey where when I was in the corporate world, I was already getting like, okay, that inner inside, like disconnection with yourself. You're kind of feeling all like, oh, there's something more here than just following the norm, go to the job, come home every day, and I experienced pain in our family. So alcoholism, abuse, I've been through bankruptcy. I've been through, my self-worth has been down. You'll see I'm a little all over the place here, but it's everything in my life has felt painful. Like so much pain. I'm sure when I was a little girl, there was joy in there a lot more, but I don't remember that, as much. So when my loved ones passed over and I was already feeling restless, that was the word I was looking for. I was feeling restless, like inside of you. I found that it was time to go deeper, and the grief of what I experienced with the loss of my two sweethearts within 9 months of each other. And I tried everything. Guys, listen to me. I found this nutritional thing and maybe do this. And they're gonna go. I learned that they have their own journey. And so I came to a place where I had no choice but to go through the grief. And because we have such limited time here today, I thought I'd just dive right in and say what I find so interesting is I thought I was grieving them. And yeah, of course I was grieving them. But as I started to be drawn to meet different practitioners and healers in the spiritual church, I found that as I started to kind of heal and feel things and notice what I was repressing as well, that it was really the underroot of it. And it took me years to realize this through processes that it was me, it wasn't me grieving them over and over and over again. Because I lost so many other loved ones after the grief. I've lost probably over a dozen really close people to me, really close, my sister, my boyfriend, my dad, my auntie, my best friend died last year, 1 week before in COVID, before things closed.
Oh dear, I didn't know that. Sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you've had a lot of death in your life. So how did you get into the whole spiritual realm of things? Because I think that, and what does that look like? I think a lot of people might want to know, what is a spiritual intuitive?
Probably the easiest way to just say at this point, to describe it this way. So Matt, you've got your loved ones passed over. And I think a lot of people now I talk to, everybody's more open. There are the the frequency, the planet, our hearts have been torn open, we're more tapped in, we're more vibrationally receptive to energies, right? You can you're more intuitive. Let's try to find a simple language. You're probably feeling more intuitive if you let yourself and get out of your own way. You can feel things more, you see things more, you think of someone who's going to call you and they've already called you before you picked up your phone or emailed you or something. Things are happening a lot faster. So this is now more commonplace, what I'm going to say. But about 25 years ago, I started to feel how I got in this road was I'm in the corporate world doing the 9 to 5 or 6 to 3. And I started to feel these experiences with my beloveds. Okay. My dad and my cousin, and then a bunch of others who passed over all over the years. And I would notice moving objects, right? I would notice electricity happenings, right? You and I talked when we did, when you and I were talking about photography. Remember I was over at your house and then you were showing me pictures, sending them to me about orbs that you came across in your photography. So remember that?
Yeah. I can't find those videos now. They're gone. I was trying to find them, but yeah, interesting. Yeah. I don't know.
That is interesting. So what happened is when I started to dive into explore, am I going crazy? So let me give you the viewers one example. So it's a lot easier when we go into examples, because how do you get to be where I was? Well, I thought it was normal. Loved ones passed over, and then I start to get these experiences. I look around me, my friends, my family, my community. Nobody knows what I'm talking about at the time. It's not that case now. There's many people that we are more and more here for all of you. But back then, what happened is I woke up one morning to a radio station, and I was listening to 95.3 FM on a traditional clock radio. I still have that radio. I keep it all the time. I still have it. It means a lot to me. And I woke up and the radio station was really loud when the alarm went off. And I just naturally thought in my mind, oh, I guess I bumped the volume button. And so then what happened is I turned it down. And the next morning I went to sleep, I went to sleep, woke up the next morning and it was loud again. And I'm living alone, I'm single at the time. No one had been visiting me. So I'm like, start to scratch your head. Well, this happened 3 days in a row and I'm really scratching my head on day 3. And I thought, what the heck? But as I'm questioning, I'm also getting a bit of an opening and a curiosity and and I felt the energy of my cousin, Rob. Rob had cancer at 25 and passed at 27. So I thought, Rob. And then where I was in the unsure stage, day 4, I woke up. And this time it wasn't just loud. It was on a completely different frequency, a different radio station. No, like, excuse me, guys, I'm not Chinese, but it felt like it was a Chinese conversation or a song or something. And I started burst into laughter. So my loved one worked overtime because he's humorous. He's an energetic being. I help people understand how to connect with their loved ones on a spiritual level by recognizing their personality and they match up with my personality and either something that can bring us together, like a song that maybe we used to sing, or a favorite something. And he was highly electric and a big bouncing bubble and a party animal and a energy guy. And so he shows himself to me through electricity. Okay, so that's that's one of like hundreds of examples where different loved ones that I've experienced. And so now a lot of people call me the signs girl, like signs and symbols. So it propelled me into health and wellness. So my passion to help people overcome grief, ease the pain in their body, right? Everything in our body.
Yeah.
It has a correlation to that which we're feeling, our stress levels, all of it. And so metaphysical teachings behind the physical happenings are unrooted, stuff inside of us. So if you have a goal and, you're making a direction towards growing your business, or you are, anything you're doing that you're feeling stuck in, it could manifest in the body. So I ended up doing massage work, which was always in, and spiritual guidance and downloading, helping people through grief and loss. And I've spent up until recently doing things a little bit different now, but a long time helping people one-to-one in sessions feel amazing, heal their hearts, get into the unknown and find strength within that place within them.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So you've had over 20 years of client transformation. So you've been working a lot one-on-one, and you've been doing massage and the spiritual side of things. I know, I can give an example of that because I experienced that, and I was, I've always kind of believed in the spiritual realm.
Yes.
But my experience with you was, I don't know if you remember at all, like kind of what came through, because I can't really remember. I remember you said something that my dad communicated to you, and I was like, what? Because it was so, relevant and true. Do you remember what that was?
So
do you remember what that was?
So I'm going to actually answer that is because I channel so much when I'm in the moment, and I see so many people, spirit doesn't leave me with the detailed memory very often. I completely remember. So no, I completely remember channeling your dad. I remember the feeling of stating what he wanted me to share with you. It came through at the exact moment you were ready to receive it. And you were like, aha, because your whole body lit up or what, what it did. And there was emotion release and different things, and you just knew that it was true for you. So no, I don't, as a channeler, you can probably not retain it, the detail of it. Do you remember what? Well,
I think I kind of remember. I just remember the most profound moment was, okay, well, we were doing massage, and then you were just saying, okay, your dad's coming through, because we were talking about it a little bit. Because he had just passed away, like, I don't know how long before that, but, and I just remember something about how he, I'm just trying to remember exactly. It was something around, that he had really regretted not pursuing the things that he really wanted to do in life. And that was something that I know you didn't know. I mean, I'm sure everybody has that kind of, they wish they had done. But I mean, he specifically told me before he died that he really wished he had pursued, his passion. He loved engineering and that kind of thing. He wasn't an electrical engineer, but he could have been, but he didn't have a degree in it or anything, but he worked in that realm of things. I just remember him telling me specifically, like in the hospital, that, you really he really wished he had, specifically, done the things that he really wanted to do. And he didn't tell me what those things were, but I knew what he meant. And because he was talking about how proud he was of me, that I was pursuing my passion as a photographer and as a makeup artist and all that kind of stuff. But the profound thing that happened was, once you were done, you had a mirror like right in front of the bed I was lying on.
I actually have that mirror over here.
Okay.
I know the one, and you looked in it and you said, I forget the words you said, but you were seeing a different you, like you were seeing like a different.
Yeah. No, I looked at myself in the mirror and I literally saw my dad's face in my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it freaked me out, but it wasn't like scary freaky. It was just like, whoa, what the heck? And I was like, I felt like a new person because, well, the massage was amazing, and it makes you feel like you're waking up after an amazing sleep.
Yeah.
And then
it's more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just saw my dad's face in my face. And, I tell people that and they're like, what? But it was just what happened for me. Right. So, that was pretty amazing. So that's kind of an example of what you do. And I'm sure it wasn't a full on intuitive session. It was part of the massage, but it was just happening and it worked really cool. So
comment on that is often over the years, I've had people say, because they know I do massage and my work is always usually united. I very rarely done a massage, but there are people who say, hey, I really need a bodywork session. I'm hurting. And so I open the door and I would say, hey, tell me about yourself. And then the door would open and they would give me permission to say, okay, yeah, actually there's more going on here. And I said, well, good, because your body's a vehicle to more. And the pain's in the way, you get the pain out of the way, heart pain or the physical, boom, your field opens up. So what I love about you is you were opening up in that experience. I wanted to share with the audience here is you were opening up in that experience through the energy work. So you released, so that's what the release is. You connected back with the part of yourself that was disconnected to Linda, right? The place where you kind of pushed you under the rug, put yourself like, this is what your dad did. He thought he had to do things a certain way, the same way Colleen did when she first was in the corporate world as Linda was. Yeah. And he comes into your life and he gets to show himself for he's been around, but at that time he got to show himself for the first time. So you really got it. He there's a word for it, but he he joined you. I had
integrated.
It almost, yeah, it's close. I don't know what the word is, but it's something about the two come together. It's like that. And my dad did that to me with his soul. I never,
Yeah.
he only did it once. And he only did it once, but I was laying flat and his soul joined mine. And it was almost like if I told somebody the way it felt to me, they'd think it was like some sexual interaction between my father and me, like two souls coming, because it felt very intimate, because it was, but it wasn't that level.
Yeah.
It was joining. So he joined you. So what I love to do is, as you know, I've been able to support people over the years. What happens is you remove the emotional pain, the physical, and that disconnect where you've left yourself at the door. And so often, most of my clients now, they're coming to me on the surface because their heart is hurting, or their body, or their whatever, or their mental insanity is going overtime. But really what it is they're covering up what their heart's purpose in their business and in their world. And I help you, whether it's in person or now online. I have a program and I have, you know, one-to-one, but I help you connect the dots to you. And then the answers populate within yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all these things that you're doing now.
Yes.
So, you know, vision coach, spiritual, intuitive, holistic. I mean, it's all part and parcel of everything you've been doing over the last 20 years, which is really cool. And so, you know, obviously the show is about, you know, how you're making a difference. I know you are. How would you describe that as like how you're making an impact with your community? And you can talk about your program that you have. But I want to hear, like, I want to hear about the program, but I want to hear, and I think people want to hear, like, you know, how you're making an impact in the lives of people that you're working with, and in your community for that matter. But it expands into the world.
Yeah, it is. When I first said yes to this interview, I know I wrote something there for you around that, I'm sure. But in terms of explaining it, I would say that the biggest impact, we're going to keep it simple here, guys, is there's so much pain all of us are harboring still. I was listening to dear Gabby Bernstein, sharing on her podcast the other day. Martha Beck being interviewed through like 5 million different, Lewis Howes and Oprah Winfrey. Everybody's tapping into the same language, just expressed differently. And what it is whether we call it emotional, you know, whether we label someone a mental health challenge, or they've got an illness that's manifested, like, you know, you and I have had cancers in our families and Alzheimer's, different things. But whatever the pain is, physical, mental, emotional, that is what's keeping us away from our shining our light. So
and our potential.
Yeah, like your dad didn't know how to, okay. I was wondering where this was going to come in, but he's coming and so he's wanting to really just mention that it is he didn't know back then. We're all guided to hold our pain in and be strong. And he did what he had to do. He thought he had to do things a certain way, and feeling there was no place for that. So he shoved down under the rug, right? Repressed the real feelings he had, and then he just showed up in the world. And he can show you he doesn't want that for you. He loves you so much. He's here as your spiritual cheerleader. He's never stopped. He's just more available to you now because he's more available to himself. So what do I do in the world? I don't know. I just show up and I ask a lot of questions, if need be, with my women and my men. I have a lot of men who come see me, but the program you're going to ask me about is a little bit, seems to be more the women are really shining. Maybe that's just right now. They're the ones who are ready for the deeper work at this level, but I help you feel better. That's it. How do we help you embrace your pain, create a space that you can be vulnerable without judging yourself all the freaking time. And you empower yourself when you're authentic and when you're vulnerable, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're always going to have pain. It's inevitable, but it's how we deal with it and process it, which is what you help people with so that they can be able to do it on their own. Is that right?
If I may just, I'm going to show you that, because I have a way of describing, I think, like, you know, the pie of life. So here's my star.
Yeah.
And you've heard me talk about this before, but just for the viewer. So this is my star. Got to call it something. So I was calling it before the cards, before the physical star showed up. I was calling it my 5-point star approach, because a business coach said to me, well, Colleen, how do you help people? I said, well, we look at where you're at. So if this is a star, this is your life force energy, your vibrational alignment, blah, blah. It's where you're going to live healthy and whole to 100 and beyond, if you choose to, and get through all of the nightmare stuff or live as long as you can. What are the things we need to look at? Well, it's like anything. If nothing's in balance at times in our life, you, me, we thrive in certain areas and then we less thrive in others. So here's my star. This is the section where it's all about emotional health. So I call this express point on the star: move, prime, align, and monetize. So if you want to live healthy beyond 100, we want to make sure your emotional wellness, how you feel, is feeling good or better, always working towards better, even when you feel bad, that you're moving the energy. Fitness comes in there, definitely. Breath work comes in there. All the ways you get the vibrational energy flowing, because it's healing for you. And it's momentum, and what goes in motion stays in motion. This is the part that is priming your body. You know, so when you're looking like where you have non-toxic products for your skin, for your body, now your supplementation, right? Your inner care, all of that, nutritionizing your body, that's straightforward. And then align your body. I love this, because this is your alignment to self, source, and others. And really it's your alignment to whatever your faith is, how you see divinity, God, spirit. Even if you don't believe, if you're religious, this is your alignment to you. We're all here doing the same thing. And then to live a longer, more joyous life, I should say. Happy is fruitful, goes up and down, but pure joy, returning to joy, monetize your creativity. So this is where, for example, when you get, if you're broke or your business is in, a down state, you're getting sour, you're depressed, you're stressed, it's quite possible, your emotional health is way the heck off. So if your vibration is you're not feeling good, you got pain in your body and pain in your heart, you're probably not making as much money as you like. But when you feel good, you're doing better. So I basically, whatever I'm doing with people, I always kind of like, where are you on the star? And 1 out of 10, Linda, on an emotional level right now today, if 10 is feeling amazing and, 1 is feeling not so great, I've even had people feel a 0 where they, I've worked with clients who want to take their lives. It gets really scary out there. We start with a vibrational scale. Where are you vibrating at today, Linda? How you feeling out of 10?
Oh, well, I'm having a good day today, thankfully. I'm probably up around 8 or 9. But yeah, I can totally relate to that, because I know when, I have, some health issues, menopause and back issues. And so I know that tips me over the scale where, I just feel like crap, and then obviously I don't perform as well, or I'm not doing, I'm not in a position to,
the ideas aren't flowing,
I just, and it's like, so no, that all makes total sense for sure. And I think, obviously most people relate to those points.
Yeah, I wanted to have a simple tool where we all resonate with, we talk about the pie of life, the circle of life, but this is sort of one simple, it's only 5 areas, but they go into all facets. And I just basically, we find out where you are on the star and what your dream is, or what you think it might be. I'll give you an example when, I find it interesting because this star actually is more powerful than I knew, like to utilize it, because the program that now, I was aiming towards this, and also COVID kind of helped kind of shove things a little, is I thought, well, how do I bring, 20-ish years professionally plus a lifetime of work I did before that, before I actually started how something and bring it to people in a understandable package way or whatever. You can't package people, so the star makes sense, right? To help you crystallize your vision, to energize your pathway, your life, your pathway, your journey to more clarity, confidence, and creativity, to revitalize your life, to repurpose your life or to get clear. It's really my journey, I guess. I want to say to everybody here is, we know that it seems to be the thing we're most challenged with. So the thing that I'm most challenged with is loving myself and trusting myself. I get hits all the time and I question it and I doubt it and I don't do the thing, or I beat myself up, or I'm afraid to express. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I seem to teach that which is the hardest SHIT for me, the hardest stuff for me. X-rated show here. So that is my challenge, and it's also my genius. And I used to beat myself up. And I know, Linda, you and I have talked about this because you were sharing with me how you can feel your purpose, where you've been and where you're going into more of you, and how as much as you get it, you feel it, and you're doing the work, up comes, remember we were talking about that, like up comes the challenge of showing up, like in a video like this, how much it was challenging. And you're like, do I have to do that? But when you do, then you move the energy, and it's like Martha Beck was saying, I was listening to this woman, and she's amazing, and she was so scared to speak on, say, a video, like so much that she was practicing often on her own phone or camera. No one's in the room. Nobody's in the room. Nobody's looking at her on live, and she's still shaking like a crazy leaf. And her nervous couldn't stop it. So she was saying in a podcast when she was interviewed, she said, the only way I knew how was to go through it. So that's what I do, is help people become brave through going through the discomfort. And that is then what guides you and opens up the channel to help you grow your business. So if I may, I'll give you an example of 3 different stories. They're really short, so I'll keep it. I know we're on a time here too. So, you get a flavor of me, but I found this so neat. So I was like inside this new program I created. Okay. Gave it a name. It used to be called Transition with Intuition, right? Using your intuition, tapping into your intuitive brilliance, tapping into your emotional wisdom. That's what I help you do, right? See the signs. What do they mean? What do you do with it all? And apply it. So I'm thinking of the star, right? And I'm talking about the star, and these founding members came into my program. I just started in January, and they all had these different needs. And I'm thinking in my brain, I'm thinking, like in my mind, I should say, in my mind, my small mind, the Colleen little brain, how does this program I created, I could feel I could help these ladies, but every single one of them had such a unique thing they were going after to heal. And one was connect with her spiritual sister who died at birth, right? You and I talked about this, to do that and yet grow her business. And so our brain says, well, how do the two relate? Well, because we know one area is out of focus. There's too much pain over here. The money's not going to come in, and the motivation to reach out to the people is not going to happen. Get stilted. So that's what happens. She opens up this channel spiritually to recognize the signs, hear her sister, build her own kind of, direct coaching system with her sister's insights. And then she made some changes inside how she felt, dealt with her family, and she grew and made more money in her business, and 13 years of direct sales, direct marketing in 1 month. That it would take her all year to earn from being in my program. And she was leaving this testimonial only 2 weeks in. And I'm like, how does that work? Right. So I'm just sharing with you how I even
was it her same business she had before, or was it a new business?
Same business, like 13 years in a direct sales business. And then when she started to do the inner work, like she's finally ready to do a new area of inner work or concentration on it. I'm not really sure how it works, but it changed everything inside of her. So then the vibration energetically changes. She's feeling better, right? Calmer, less pain, less chaos with her husband. And this, a court matter, we'll say, was really painful in the family. I don't know. She just had more oomph to manifest differently. And and she had, made a big bonus. And she was like, how did I do that? I said, because you focused on you, kind of thing. So, and
that's really powerful.
And, just two more examples, because it's really important that people get this. That's why I'll have clients say, well, what do you do, Colleen? It's not, I don't a coaching, massage, nutritional product. No, I don't do those. I help you create a space for yourself through the coaching. So another woman, she was a nutrition coach as well, with a different multi-level marketing business, and a young woman in Florida. And what happened for her is, she started to open up that she had healed an eating disorder, meaning she was no longer doing the pattern. She did that on her own years ago with the help of people and then the company that she's connected to. So she reached a point, but she was still afraid to share her personal story. And I had a one-to-one with her coaching call. And I said, if you share your story, which is scary for you, it's going to open up some new doors for you. You're going to attract in the people you want to grow your business, and you're going to help more people because they're going to hear that you're just like them, or they're just like you.
Yeah.
And then she started slowly doing that after doing the work inside my program. There's certain things I get them to do and suggest to do. And then she started to feel more confident and, posting more, or more postings about whatever online. And it was amazing to see the energy shift in her doubt to more confidence and, a little more joy and happiness. And then the third story, which I just find so fascinating, is this other beautiful woman had her profession for many years, kind of retired from that. Her and her husband, they're in love. The money is good. The two of them, she does the back office running his business, her business, but she's not thrilled about it. And she saw her mom transition. She was the caregiver and the helper for showing up for her loved ones. And then she and I were talking, and she goes, I think I want to work with you. And I said, well, what's your thing? Where are you at? Really? And she goes, I don't know. I feel I've done all this for everybody else, but I don't quite know my thing. I don't know my heart's purpose from here forward. And I got another, 40, 50 years to live. She's just entered that 50 mark. And so she took the program, and all of a sudden her creative side, so sort of like the creative part on the star, but her creativity opened up, and she was so happy. She's painting and artsy and yoga, and she's taking care of herself. and allowing her, making her life better. So
That sounds amazing. So where would you say I mean, you have so many gifts, but what do you think your greatest gift is, and how does it pertain to this work? I know you've talked about all these things, but I mean, and you're helping guiding people and everything, but I know there's a special gift in there that really is at the center of everything.
Oh, thank you. I feel it's my ability to tap into the energies, to hold the space, spiritual space, to show you or to guide you. I don't know what the words are, like I don't know what the proper language is, because there is no proper language, but to create an environment through my insights and help you connect the dots. So help you move from disconnect to connect. And however I'm showing up in the world, whether it's coaching call over Zoom like this, or an actual in-person session of body work, acupuncture, pressure, it doesn't matter. I feel I have that ability to see. And I'll give you one example of the spiritual intuitive. So years ago, when you and I first met, I was living at the other building, actually just on the other side of this community across the street. And a woman won a gift certificate to have a massage with me. It was like a fundraiser. So she booked her session and she showed up, and, you sit on the couch, and it's like my living room space is my, studio, sitting on the couch, and she starts to tell me what's kind of going on in her life, her body, but also her heart. I said, well, I could help you with that area. This is what, how I kind of work with you. Oh, so she was open. Next thing you know, she's over on the healing table, right? The environment. And to help her get in touch with herself, I brought her through a breathing technique, a breathing experience, breathing called rebirthing, conscious connected breathing, which changed my life after my grief and loss of my family. And I've been able to work, with people in person and now also online. I can't believe this works online too. Kind of teasing here, but it's eye-opening for me too. I'm like, this works online too. And I was able to bring her to a place enough that her field of energy opened up, and she's, she's crying, there's emotion going on, but she's not quite tapped into what it is yet. The dot's not quite connected. So I got this message from, my spiritual cheerleaders, working with her spiritual guides or cheerleaders, and her body told me this, and this is really important. Her body quantumly spoke without words, and it showed me that she had been molested and abused as a young person. Now, she had not told me any of this. And again, I just met her as my first session with her. It's not like we're in, the fifth session and I have the trust built. So I asked her, she's on the table and she's in a zone, like, that zone you were in, kind of like that. But I have something for you here. It's really important. May I have permission to share with you? It could be really unsettling, or, something simple. And she said, yes, because she's, yes, help me, and I just said it. I trusted myself, which was scary because this is younger years. And I said, whatever the words were, I said, I feel XYZ, you have been, who abused you, or who molested you, or who whatever the words is. And all of a sudden, just this whole shift, her body started emoting like crazy. And she's like in shock that I said this stuff. And this whole experience happens. It's a long time ago, but she says to me after, or in the middle of, how did you know? She goes, I go, have you ever had a counselor? Have you ever talked to anybody? I got all this information out of her somewhere along the way. I've never told a soul, never saw a counselor. How do you know? I said, I don't. I said, your body showed me, right? So I was able to read her body, and I was able to be in a good enough, tapped in, spiritual, tuned in, medium, whatever place that picked up the energy, because I've done the work on me, right? That's why I can help you. And then her body she was ready. I don't know, she was ready. So she received the information. She had a massive healing. She's still in freaking shock. I never told you. How do you know? And this happened to me several times, many times. And they're like, I never told you. And I'm like, yeah, you are telling me. But it's just weird, when you've never, it's freaky, and so I help people release the freakiness and claim their power and figure out their genius. And that's why I work with women in business, as well as, heart-centered visionaries and leaders. But I say business because most of us who have a purpose, once we figure out our purpose, we want to do something with it, right? Us mums and our, we're here, we're incredible goddesses. So I want to help myself become more of a goddess energy, but through helping you guys recognize your power and show you how to connect your own dots, read the signs, listen to your body, make the changes. And there you go. I love it. I'm finally claiming it,
yeah, that's awesome that you're culminating everything that you've done and learned and, experienced through the spiritual intuition and your empathic nature and just all your own personal experiences. But I think a lot of people, like you said, when you find your purpose, sometimes it's born out of pain and, bad experiences where you can actually, when you work through it, then you can help others to do the same. Or it could be just, you have these natural gifts. I think, in most cases, it's a combination of more than just the one thing, right? Because, you have your experiences and then you have your natural talents and abilities coupled with passion and your desire to do the work and, make a mark. So I think that everything, yeah.
You said it so well, because why I realized why you're doing your passion this is my projection or perception of it, but I am effing tired, sick and tired of the long, painful experiences I lived day in, day out as a little girl, as a teenager, as a young woman. I'm tired of it. So usually when people meet me, they're actually very successful, or they might be affluent in certain areas, and they maybe have had a great relationship. And there's something that is keeping them from the next thing. But it's because there's this pain. And I don't know about you, but I've had this pattern of judging, prejudging, because I look at someone, I think, oh my God, they're so successful. They're this, I'm just saying, pick Oprah as a name, everybody knows, but they're this person, and that means X, Y, Z about them. They're no different than you and me. They may have achieved and look that way on, but they're every day, as long as they're in their skin, on their snake skin, as my sweet Diane, who transitioned, this is our snake skin. It's here for a little while and then we shed it. But as long as we're all in it, we all are dealing with some level of pain. We just may have shoved it down. We don't notice. So I believe I'm sorry, a long song and dance here is, I know. So I'm just laughing at our connection. It's cute. So pain, I don't want my pain. So I don't want you guys to have pain. I want you guys to get over the pain and thrive.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think we can all relate to that. I've had people say, oh, you're so polished, you're so together. And I'm like, oh, if you only knew the things that I have anxiety about. And, and I can relate to what you're saying. I'm in my 50s now, and I'm just tired of hiding behind my anxieties and fears. And like I've said many times on the show, this is why I'm doing this show, so I can actually finally express myself and use my voice. I found my voice. I'm still finding my voice. You know, it's still a journey. I mean, I've been doing this video, what do they call it? A vlog challenge, just learning how to be better on video and stuff. And I've done it 3 times. I'm in my 3rd time now, actually, just so that I can like build up my confidence and, you know, but I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, you know, I'm in my 50s now. You know what? I'm tired of carrying around this fear and anxiety that I've been carrying around for so long, and this, you know, worry about what everybody's going to think of me and right? It's just like, I'm done. And you know what? I mean, I care still, but I don't care as much anymore. And that's a huge step. So I understand where you're coming from, you know, like you just want to stop the pain and know that that is your superpower now, that you, because you've been through all that, you can help people, even if their pain is this much compared to what you went through. I mean, it's all, you know, it's all relative, right? Everybody's pain is relative. So I think that's amazing. So your new program is called Crystallize Your Vision. And it's basically using everything that you've learned and experienced to now, to help people really just tap into their heart and their power and their, you know, to release and express and do what they're here to do.
Darn right.
So I'm going to put your website in the notes, where they can go directly to the program, and it'll also connect obviously to your website and all the things that you do. If you're in Vancouver, you've got to see Colleen for massage for sure, because she's an amazing massage therapist. And the spiritual intuitive work is amazing. Sometimes that just happens as part and parcel of whatever you're working on with your clients. And then the other, you know, the rest of the work with regards to what we were just talking about, crystallizing your vision, transformation and all that. I mean, so you have a specific program, but you utilize everything that's in your toolkit during the course. So I was just through the course, and also in one-to-one. Massage is just an entry level, but the actual most people come to me even in the in-person for, I call it the transformational experience, where you get to you and I get to just intuitively pull out of the goodie kit, whatever you That's amazing. Okay, well let's get to so you and I work together. This is where we transition over to you as my client, and we did a photo shoot with you back in 2014 because we had met a year before that. And tell us about
working with
I guess what made you want to work with me. And I know there was a little story around, you know, the timing of the shoot and where we were going to shoot and all that stuff. So you go ahead and tell us about that.
I would love to. Well, first and foremost, I chose to work with Linda because I work with anyone I vibrate with. I work with who I'm drawn to, and I trust that enough, or develop that now anyways, even more so. So whenever you're making decisions who to work with, just go where the vibe is. So I felt the vibe to you, Linda, and so I went with it. And what, you know, stands out is very much, you know, your genuineness, your, you don't push people, you hold them up, they're on the pedestal to shine, you know, their great, you know, their essence, and not greatness, but, you know, their essence in the imagery. And you really spent a lot of time, you know, inquiring, like, what is it you want to get out of this? And what do you know, like, obviously, what are you going to pictures going to be used for, do you think? Here's my suggestions, and here's my different way. So all of that beautiful way that you hold the space, and indoor, outdoor, but that's the main thing, is your vibe and your heart. I think we've covered that so beautifully. And the pictures were beautiful, amazing. I chose kind of like a moderately simple package because I knew I wanted 1 or 2 good pictures for my business card at the time. All business cards, very often these days, but for my business card and for my website. And I wanted like that, one was like actually it was funny as we were going in with here's the thing. So Linda helps bring out your essence. And so what is your essence? So I came from the corporate world. So just like, kind of like that traditional real estate portrait, the picture, that's in on business cards even, or in on websites. I didn't know this at the time, but I really wanted to capture more joy in my life than all the pain I was harboring. So as we were taking pictures outside, tell you about the outside day in a moment, or when you were setting it up and you were taking the photos and you're guiding it, do this. And then there was this one where we just laughed about something. That's what I remember. You just, something happened or something was said. And I started laughing. Well, now you caught me in my more organic state and my true state. And it was that capture. So I remember we looked at all these pictures. You chose some, I chose one that you hadn't even chose it too, but it was something that vibrationally really stuck out when I shared with my niece as well. She's like, oh my God. And we started to, I showed my niece one, Melissa, she just loved it. And it was just, I laughed, I looked up, you snapped, you caught the picture organically because you have the ability to do that. And it was just so cool because that wasn't the picture we were going after. So my tip is, to be open to the incredibleness of like working with Linda, her essence, because I find it's the things we don't plan that is the beauty ones, the ones that vibe with us. And so that was the one that I know you're going to showcase them, but this is the wrong coloring on this one because the printer didn't do, these are my secondary ones, but like it's this image where I'm looking up and the rivers, in behind here and the rivers, the side, but it was just this like even laughter, and that has had so much enjoyment and people.
Yeah, you were really in your joy there, that's for sure. Yeah, and I think that really surprises a lot of people, and most of the time in a good way, because we don't really see ourselves how we are in reality. We see ourselves in the mirror, but it's flipped, and we don't see ourselves in expression. We don't see ourselves in joy. Like when we look in the mirror, like oftentimes we're just putting our makeup on, or we see ourselves in passing kind of thing. And that's why I think this video thing is really good, because we can see ourselves. Like I see myself talking right now, and I have it kind of set up so I can see how I look in reality. It's not a mirror. It's not flipped. It's in reality. So I think that's been really helpful for a lot of people, like just, having to go on video now more and more. But I think, the whole idea of seeing ourselves as we truly are is really huge. And being able to, like that photo, for example, I mean, it wasn't planned. It wasn't kind of like, you didn't say, I want a photo of me with looking up, smiling. But that ended up being the one that you wanted. And I've had other clients do that too. Like, I mean, I remember taking a shot of a girl. She was a lawyer. Or was she a lawyer? No, she was she was in the financial world, like, and typically they would have like, a headshot in the studio kind of thing.
Yeah.
But she ended up picking an in-between shot. I just sometimes snap in between when we're chit-chatting and stuff. And it was a laughing shot. And that's the picture she ended up choosing, because she wanted to stand out. She wanted people to see her, joyful nature. And, she wasn't your typical financial advisor. She wanted to show her true joyful self and, to have her people connect with her. So I'm so happy you picked that one, because I think that was one of my top favorites as well. And I know you picked a few other ones as well, but it was a really fun shoot, and it happened on the right day too.
It totally did, because Linda and I were, it was February and the weather was it was winter in North Vancouver. It's all usually gray or rainy. And I remember you saying, well, Colleen, you know, to guarantee a better shoot, we may want to consider my in-home studio. And everything inside of me said, no, we can't do that. Like spirit said, I'm an outdoor girl. I'm a hiker. I'm always outside when I can. We got to be outside. It's my essence. And you're like, okay, well, you know, we're both kind of like, let's cross our fingers. So I put it out to, you know, source, these little spiritual helpers. And would you guys know, get this. I feel like my father, so here we go back to my dad, but I feel like our spiritual cheerleaders, whoever else they are, they step in and they really help create the light for all of us. And so sure enough, the day before, it was not a good weather day. I mean, it might have been like, you know, gray clouds would be good for you to take your photography, like without the direct sunshine, which I understand.
Yeah.
That can be better. But for me, essence wise, vibe wise, I was hoping for a nicer day, even if it's harder on you. And so
that was fun.
It worked out really good. So that day, the sky opened up and it was beautiful, blue sky. I don't remember a cloud in the sky. And I thought, oh, Dad, thanks, man. You helped me out here, buddy. And I didn't call him buddy, but you know, I'm thinking about him now, buddy. And then the next day, it wasn't good again. The weather was just kind of clouded over. So that's what I've been wanting to tell you. I thought I told that to you and shared that with you, but I just thought it was like,
yeah, it totally aligned. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, I think we've covered everything. I'm really happy that we reconnected and that you're still using the photos. I think they still work for you. Okay. But I know we have another photo shoot probably in the works at some point. And, you know, if and when you're ready and I'm there or you come here. But I think you're really doing great work and you really do make a difference for people. I know you made a huge difference, an impact in my life because that really helped me. You know, my experience with you, you know, from the day one massage to the one day with my dad, you know, that really helped me to heal and be more at peace with his passing. And, you know, obviously physically with my back and everything.
Your hips, your low back. Yeah. I remember that stuff that was gnawing at you I remember when we talked, you said, well, I have this ongoing thing going on.
Yeah.
You tell me, but afterwards, after a couple sessions we had, maybe we had more, but at least 2, I think, then you go big difference in how
big impact. So I think that, you know, everyone needs to check out your course and your website and, watch your videos. You have a YouTube channel as well. You're always offering, you know, really powerful insights. And I know you've been interviewed by other people too. So anyway, just explore Colleen's, all her social media and her website. And, you know, is there any, go ahead.
I just had a thought as I little inside scoop, but as I'm spending time having grown this program, created it, my YouTube channel has got a little bit temporary paused as guided by our, you know, our teacher kind of thing who's helping work with me in the business model. But what's really cool, guys, is if you're curious about this sort of spiritual stuff that Linda and I are talking about, and then the signs and, you know, the people who passed away, are they around us? I have many videos inside my channel, youtube.com/Colleen Wynia. Go to the playlist that says Spirit Communication on it, Spirit Communication, something like that. And under is a whole bunch of videos of like my story about the clock radio, my cousin, you know, interplaying, lights, moving of objects, me and my mom in one picture where there's actually a picture that moved in front of us while we were there. My sister showed up and moved a picture while Mom and I were watching a movie together. Like, it was crazy, Linda. And a watch that went missing from my mom's, where she puts it. And it was missing for about 2 months. And it's one of the first like, kind of videos. I don't even know what I was doing, but it's got like over 5,000 views just from people Googling moving objects to do with their loved ones. So she tells her story at the kitchen sink, how they watch showed back up 2 months later in the kitchen sink.
Oh, very cool.
Anyways, thank you. I just wanted to point that out in case people were a little bit more curious about that spiritual stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's very cool. And so when does your course start? The Crystal, but is it like a time thing, or like, is it? Yeah. Okay. So when's your next course?
So it's the same course, enhanced. It starts 1 week from today, and we're delivering it. I'm delivering it live over Zoom. You can ask me, what you do is if you are curious to know more, whether it be a fit for you, we'd want to book a call, just get on a call together and ask you a bunch of questions, share your story. We'll just see if it's a fit. But the neat thing is right now, the program's at its lowest price ever, because it's the last time I'm going to deliver it live, the training part. There's coaching involved, one-to-one coaching is mixed in there. And later it'll transition over into another type of a bit of a program to reach more people. So, but yeah, I'd really love to, there's a couple of spots left. So it'd be great to connect with anyone who resonates with this.
Awesome. Okay. And will you have it again after this? Like how often?
Yes. Thanks for catching me. So this program, Crystallize Your Vision, as it's named right now, for anyone who wants in at any point in time, message me, we'll connect. But this is a lifetime access. So yes, you can get it now while it's kind of the earlier stages of it, beta stage part 2. But I'm not going anywhere. This is part of my life work now. And I want to be able to meet people all around the world and help you guys. So it will always have the program will only get better. And there'll always be coaching involved one-to-one, but it's delivered right now it's delivered in a live setting. Yeah.
Okay, great. But they can access it later, just online.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Like I've had one person who wanted to join now. She didn't have a lot of time to sort of be on the training call and the coaching call for it's delivered over 8 weeks. Right. And so it's delivered, and she didn't have a ton of time, but she wants to be in it. So she said, well, I want to get it now because she can come back and re-audit and join in any time. And this way she gets it at the sort of the best, investment possible.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
So 1 week today is June what?
24th.
24th. Okay. So I'll just make sure that I post this video before that.
Oh, I know it's a little pressure for you, but bottom line, if anyone sees this, it's okay. They can still come and work with me.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thanks again, Colleen, for joining us. And again, it's Linda Mackey Creative and the Eloquent Entrepreneur. If you know anyone who is a change maker, is making a difference, and or needs amazing branding photos. I love working with my clients. I love highlighting my clients. That's who I typically focus on when I do these interviews. But again, I'm interested in meeting anyone who is truly making an impact in the world. So thank you again, Colleen, and we will talk to you soon.
Okay. Have a beautiful rest of the week and weekend ahead. Bye. Thank you, Linda.
Bye for now.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of The Eloquent Entrepreneur, Conversations with Everyday Changemakers, and that you're feeling supercharged and inspired to make your positive impact in the world. Because one thing I know for sure is that together we can create a lasting legacy and ignite others to do the same. To learn more about The Eloquent Entrepreneur and more, visit my website at lindamackey.ca. Bye for now.